Okay, so welcome to the session 2 of teaching strategies. And I'll just take you straight through these things because we don't have much time in hand. And so I would not like to, take too much into introduction. So I'll just tell you what are the session objectives. By the end of today's session, we intend to, first thing which is very important is to clarify the queries that you had put in your feedback form for session 1, because there were some very pertinent questions which you people had asked, and I thought that it will be better that I discuss these because this would be relevant to the other teachers also. So I'm going to be discussing about those queries which you had put. Next, we will have, I have just put the number for the sake of it, but it all depends upon how many teaching strategies are we able to do comfortably, right? So these again are the teaching strategies which can be taken across classes and across subjects. Now, one of the major thing which I have, found people saying that it should be subject specific, it should be subject specific. So the fact is that whatever strategies I'm telling is something which you can directly apply to your subject. So whatever topic you are taking, you can directly put it there, right? So all of these strategies, you can consider them to be subject specific. I may take an example of a particular subject, but you can always apply it in your subject. Then we will also see that how can we differentiate these strategies. Along with that, we will see that where can we use it. Can we use it in prior knowledge activation, concept building, assessment, or metacognition? So these are the things which we are going to be doing today. Again, the ground rules are there. I'm just going to highlight some of the ones which I want you to remember. Of course, you know about the chat box and other things. If you wish, you can raise hand if you want to ask something. I will be sharing this presentation with you. Okay, so please keep your focus on presentation, then on writing. But if you can manage both of these things together, nothing like that, you should go ahead and do it. And of course, there is a reflection sheet at the end, so you have to fill the reflection sheet. All right. So that's the format in which we are going to go ahead. Let me take you further. And here now are the queries which you people had put in the feedback form. So the first query here, I have just put all of these in one particular category. These queries are related to some strategies. So is the key related to 20 questions? No. These are 20 keys. One of the key is a question key, right? And the 20 keys are different keys which are there. So it's like prediction key, it's a bar key, there's an alternatives key, there is a variation key. So there are 20 such keys which will make your children do critical thinking. So I'm not sure how many of you have really explored this from the last session to now. Is there anybody who can put in the chat box whether you did visit the Tony Rand's 20 thinking keys, and did you try to explore it further? In case if any one of you have done it, you can just put it in the chat box. I would love to read that. Then, how should I use Tarsia? So this was one of the strategy that I had used. In this, there is a question, how should I use Tarsia? Another question is, how can we use Tarsia in a history class? Then can't we have offline Tarsia? I love this strategy. I would like to try. And then how can we use Tarsia in English? Subject, especially reading. So these are the questions, and two more questions related to Tarsia. In Tarsia, how can we motivate slow learners to contribute, as these children depend on their peers for correct answers and high achievers do not let them get a chance? And link of Tarsia and what if strategy. So the last one I'll just tell you, link of Tarsia and what if strategy is there in the presentation which I had shared last time. And this presentation has already been, I believe it has been shared with all of you. So you would be having the link for both of the Tony Rand's website as well as the Tarsia link, the software which you need to be downloading. Now, how should I use Tarsia? Very simple. You have to just download that Hermitech Laboratory, if you remember. Download Tarsia. Okay, Smita, if you have not received, it has been shared with Ashwini. You can personally request her for giving you that. Then, so you have to download that software, and after that, you just have to you have to choose which particular shape would you like to create the tarsia in? How many questions are there? Would you want to create an easy tarsia or would you like to create a difficult tarsia? Right? Depending upon that, you choose, and then you just have to put your questions and answers there. Once you have put your questions and answers, take a printout of that. Once you've taken the printout, do the cuttings, put the things in the envelope and give it to the groups, and the groups are going to be working on it. Right? Now, if you want to be a smart teacher, you can always create tarsia, get it laminated, keep it with you as a permanent resource. As and when you want, you can always use it, right? So you can have a activity cupboard for your particular subject, and you can have those things ready with you. So you can use it anytime. You don't have to work last minute for it. How can we use tarsia in a history class? You can very well use it. If you have events and year, so year and event can be put, cause and consequence can be put up over there, right? The main character which is related to a particular event, so that can be there. So depending upon that, anything which can be matched can be put for tarsia. So you can use it in a history class as well. How can we use it in English for reading? For reading, of course, you cannot put it, because this is a strategy which is largely for assessment, right? So for reading, tarsia is not suitable. So you cannot use it for reading. But of course, you can use it for word meaning. You can use it for antonyms. You can use it for all the other things that you are basically testing or assessing your students on, which has a definitive answer. Okay, only for those things you can use tarsia. Then link of this is done. Now carousel strategy. If you have questions, please keep putting your questions in the chat box. I'll simultaneously see that. Link of tarsia, and so this is done. Carousel strategy need little explanation. So it's only one person who has written this. So I would request Archana that you can personally get in touch with me on phone or something, and I can explain it to you. Then
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
yeah, can carousel brainstorming be used with primary children too? You can use it, but I would suggest you use it for students class 3 and above. Class 3 and above will respond very well to your carousel brainstorming. I used it for class 6. Had I used it for 5, 4, 3, they would have responded really well. So you can use it for your class 3, 4, and 5. Can we have graffiti in notebook group wise? You can have it. There is no harm. But generally, the word graffiti is used wherein you are, kind of putting your views, your mental thoughts, or some kind of a drawing on an open area. So that is the word. The graffiti word is basically used for that. So if you want to do it in a notebook, there is no harm in doing that. You can always go ahead and do it. Then how can I use graffiti for Hindi? You can use it like Hindi, English people will be using, any other subject would be using, you'll use it for Hindi. You just have to put your topic there. What is being done in graffiti? You have to ask something over there. You have to ask for some opinions out there, and the children will be coming and writing their opinions on it, right? So that is graffiti. So it's just that you have to think about that, and then you can ask your students to come and contribute. So it can be used in Hindi as well, very easily. Okay. All right. I hope I have been able to clarify the doubts here. If there is anybody who's there whose questions are these, and if I have not been able to, clear it properly, please put your counter question in the chat box. Okay. All right. Let me just move further. The other queries which are there. Next is, how can we stop repeating the same strategies? So for this, it is, you have to enrich your bank of teaching strategies. Simple, nothing else. You have to, keep on getting more and more innovative strategies, devising or creating your own innovative strategies, right? Only then you will stop repeating the same activities. So for this, you need to research slightly. You have to go to internet. I don't know whether I have shared with you or not. There are some of the websites, which have activities which are there, grade wise, subject wise, topic wise activities are mentioned. So you can go ahead and find out some of the activities from that website as well. Have I shared it with you, those websites? I have not shared. I'll share a slide with you today in all the groups, okay, which has the website URLs of such websites wherein the teaching strategies are there. Okay, all right. Then the next one is how to manage time in a period of 30 minutes. Now, when you are saying how to manage time in a period of 30 minutes, I can understand that 30 minutes for you to do a prior knowledge activation, concept building, assessment, as well as metacognition may be a little less. Okay, you may not be able to do justice, because if suppose you have a concept building strategy which is collaborative, differentiated, children are doing something, they'll present it, and it takes time. Okay, so definitely to do that in 30 minutes, 30 minutes is definitely a small period of time. I wouldn't disagree to this, but simultaneously you also have to, I would also say you can do a lot of things in 30 minutes. Okay, provided you have a planning in your mind, provided you have your resources proper, provided you exactly know what you have to do and what are the things you want to get from the students. So even those 30 minutes can be very productive. If we are unplanned, then those 30 minutes are quite a lot of time is wasted there. But if you are planned, you can still do a lot in those 30 minutes, right? So I would say the only answer to this question is planning. If you go in for proper planning, you will be able to achieve it. Okay. But maybe not in 30 minutes, maybe not everything in 30 minutes. I will not agree ki in 30 minutes all of those things are possible. I wouldn't say. See, ideally, and I have seen most of the very good schools using a time period which is slightly more. Okay, and that is something which helps in kind of lot of time wasted. Suppose, say for example, and I think it's good, all of you are here, around 125 people are here. It's if suppose you are given, say, suppose 8 periods of 30 minutes duration or 35 minutes duration, and compared to if you are given, say, 6 minutes which are of, say, 45 minutes duration or a 50 minutes duration. So maybe the time duration is the same. Time duration may be the same, right? But what is that which you're getting more in a bigger period? In the bigger period, a lot of time which is utilized in you coming, children coming, settling, bell going, interruptions, all of those things will be cut down, because in 8 periods it will happen 8 times, but in 6 periods it will only happen 6 times, and you get a continuous time frame. So I mean, that is something which I am always in favor of, slightly longer duration, so that you are able to do substantial work in that particular time frame. Okay, but even though we have 35 minutes or if we have 40 minutes, then also you can manage your planning. At least 40 minutes I think is something in which you will be able to manage everything, but 30 minutes for me also I feel that it is a little short. Okay, but planning is something which will help here. Then next is differential learning for the subjects based on hierarchy of the concept. This seems to be a very beautifully framed sentence, but I could not really get the meaning of it. Like exactly what do you want to ask? I forgot to write the name of the person who has asked it, but if in case the person is here, you can ask verbally that when you saying differential learning for the subjects based on hierarchy of the concept, when you're saying hierarchy of the concept, some concept which is difficult, some concept which is easy, and the difficulty level of the concept goes or decreases. This is what I consider as hierarchy of the concept. Okay, and you are saying differential learning for such concepts. So if I have understood your question properly, then I would say, is a person here in this group who has asked this question? My mistake, I did not take the name of the person. Is the person there who has asked this question? Otherwise, I'll not, go ahead and keep explaining this. I don't think it's the person is there. I'll personally take it up with the person. Okay, next. Which strategy can be used in chemistry for structure of atom? Again, lots of strategies you can use. The thing is, when you are teaching structure of atom, it basically starts in your class 9. Serious discussion on structure of atom starts in class 9, right? And in that, once you are taking up the strategy or the structure of atom, you can involve your children into creating 3D models of the structure of atom. That will give them better clarity on the structure. Okay. And otherwise, there are a lot of strategies wherein you can other strategies which we are discussing for all the other subjects you can use for structure of atom when you want to check their concept clarity. But to understand the structure of atom, the good thing is you can show them a video. You can also show them, the 3D models, or you can involve them into creating 3D models. Then, can we have a blend of strategies to create one? Absolutely, you can do that, and that's what a creative teacher does. Okay, you can always mix 2 or 3 strategies and then create a new one. So you can do that. Is it possible to conduct so many activities in a single session? Nobody is asking you to conduct so many activities. Okay. The most important activity in a lesson plan is your concept building strategy, which should be a collaborative thing, wherein the children are assimilating the concept, right? And when you're doing your prior knowledge activation, quick prior knowledge activation is what you need to be doing. That should not take your 5 minutes more than 6 minutes, where all the children are involved. And similarly, quick 5 to 7 minutes assessment is what you're supposed to take. Metacognition should not take more than 2 minutes, right? So this is how you should divide your time, but the maximum time should be used in your giving of the concept, new concept, and strengthening that concept with the help of a concept building strategy. Okay. Then the next one is how to conduct for more number of students. Less number of students and more number of students does not really matter so much. In your schools, as it is, I have seen that the students are maybe not more than 40 in a class, and 40 students are quite a manageable number. And in most of the cases, there are less number of students in the classes, but even if they are 40 or slightly above that, they are easily manageable. You can just put them into groups, tell your rules, and they will do the work. Okay. So strength of a class is not something which should dissuade you from doing these activities. Then higher class students don't take much interest in these activities. How do we solve this? See, whether they are your grade 9 or they are your grade 12, if the activity is challenging for them, if the activity is something which makes them think, you will find that they are the ones who will be interested. If it's slightly boring for them, if it's very repetitive for them, okay, then in that case, or if it is not conducted nicely, then you will find that they will not be interested. Okay, so the only reason that the children are not interested depends upon how the activity is being conducted and how is it designed. Okay, so you can talk to me with specific examples, and the specific examples could be, I did this in my class and this was kind of a result. Okay, so then we can think and discuss as to what could be the reasons for the children not being interested in the senior classes. Okay, because I have seen lots of senior classes where activities are something which the children have taken very positively and they like it. Okay, so therefore we have to see what would be the real reason for children not liking it. Then how to make more reflections for pre-primary kids. For pre-primary kids, because they are not too much into writing, so you should always have small smileys or emoticons, and they can choose the emoticons and show it to you, or you could use traffic lights for them. You can just put a tick or a cross or something which they can do. So for pre-primary kids, try to use lot of images which will help them to reflect on their learning. That's how you should do it. Then how to, or maybe hand signals, so they can do that. How to manage the class during the activities. This is something which I'll be helping you out through my learning hacks. I will keep posting these learning hacks and it will tell you How do you really manage your activities through these learning hacks? Okay, so managing the class during the activity completely depends upon how well you establish the rules and how well you establish the rules for behavior. Okay, so that's important. Do we have to give the same names of the teaching strategies as suggested? See, if you give the same names of teaching strategies, you do not have to repeat the rules for it again and again, because children would know. So if you say hot potato, they would know what has to be done with a hot potato, right? That's why it is said that better to give the same names. But if you are altering it slightly and you want to, change the names, slight alteration, change the name. So the children will think, okay, this is a new strategy, and they always want something new for them. Do we have to give the, okay, so this is done. Now let's go to the third and the last part of the questions which are there. How art teachers may follow these strategies, and how PE teachers can use these strategies? So it's almost a similar question, so I've put it together. See, when we are talking about art or music or computers, these subjects are already skill-based subjects. Already, most of the time, the children are involved into doing something. They are either singing, they are either playing some instrument, whatever they are doing, they're already involved. So that's an active class, anyways, right? But you can use these activities when you are taking your theory class, because in physical education also, at least in 11th and 12th, there are theory classes. So in the theory class, you can use these active learning strategies. Otherwise, those classes become very boring, right? So music and PE teachers and the other skill-based subject teachers can always use this when you are teaching theory to your students. Otherwise, when you're taking practicals, the children are as it is interested. Then I liked all strategies, but still I can't use any one. My kids are very young, and how can I use these strategies? Please guide us. I completely agree that yes, strategies like carousel brainstorming or graffiti or chalk talk is something which you may not be able to use with the young kids. With the younger ones, try to use a lot of floor games. Try to use a lot of manipulatives where they can play, and then you are able to assess their understanding. There is a hand raised, I believe, right? I can't find. I thought that there's a hand raised. Okay. So for pre-primary, yes, of course, you have to think about different kind of strategies. Okay. एक हिंदी में ये है, छात्रों की संकल्पना अवधारणा संबंधित सत्यता को जानने के लिए किस प्रकार के प्रश्नों को महत्व दिया जाना चाहिए? तो यहाँ पे आप उनके प्री जो उनकी प्रायर नॉलेज है, अवधारणा क्योंकि आप कह रहे हैं, तो अगर आपको उसको जानना है और प्रायर नॉलेज को जानना है, तो किस प्रकार के प्रश्नों को महत्व देना चाहिए, वो डिपेंड करता है कि आप क्या जानना क्या चाहते हैं, है ना? तो उसमें आपके लोअर ऑर्डर थिंकिंग स्किल क्वेश्चंस भी हो सकते हैं, हायर ऑर्डर थिंकिंग स्किल क्वेश्चंस भी हो सकते हैं, डिपेंड्स अपॉन व्हाट डू यू वांट टू नो. तो नीलम जी, अगर आपको इसके बारे में कुछ और पता करना है, अगर आप हैं ग्रुप के अंदर, तो आप पूछ सकते हैं सवाल. Next is, many a times the strategies are very time consuming. This is something which I think will be is suitable for everyone. The grade 1 students need a little extra time to respond, so the reflection and assessment doesn't take place. And if we are using active learning strategies, how should we deal with this problem? So this is again related to time. Yes, because they are younger students and they will be needing a little time to respond. So you have to provide them that time. That should be there in your planning. Okay. And if I'm not wrong, grade 1 and grade 2 are more of mother teacher concept. Is that so? Aarti, can you come in here?
Yes, ma'am.
It's mother teacher, right? So if it's a mother teacher, you do not have constraint of time. It's basically in your hand, from where to begin and where to end. You know exactly what has to be taken up. So time may not be, but your planning is something which you have to do accordingly, right? Give them time. If they'll need time, you have to provide time. That should be there in your planning. Then few children insist for line by line explanation from the textbook. Can you please suggest any strategy to cater to this demand of kids? Now remember, there will always be some such students who do not want to go ahead and think, who do not want to labor, and they would want that everything is something which the teacher should be telling. Now this is something which you have to hold, because the reason there are suppose out of 40, there are 32 children in your class who want to, get engaged into active learning and quickly kind of finish their studies, right? But there might be 8 children who will want to, sit quietly and just listen to the teacher because they don't want to labor, right? So the fact is, you do not have to go into their demand. You have to raise their standard for coming into active learning, because even if you go by their demand and go ahead and do line by line explanation, those 8 students are the ones who will switch off. They will not be really listening after some time because it's passive teaching, and they will switch off. So therefore, it's anyways not going to be helping them, right? So it's better to motivate such students to participate into active learning. Take real good care of these students while you have designed your active learning strategies. Okay, so just see that they participate well, motivate them while they are responding, appreciate them. Then you will find that yes, they will be interested. Then, is it possible to take up activities in SEN classes on daily basis? Will the content not suffer? See, in your special needs class, you have to see what is their need. And according to the need, you have to cater. Your activities have to be designed according to the need. Okay. At any given point in time, when we are talking about education, our focus has to be skill development. Okay. Please remember this, that when we are talking about educating the students, our focus, at least till class 8th, because 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, I can understand they have to prepare for a board examination for a specific syllabus, but we have to focus on skill development, right? So even when they are your special needs students, you have to see that if you teach 20 chapters of English or you teach 10 chapters of English will not make much of a difference. What will make a difference? How have you taught them? If you have taught them 10 chapters also very well, developing their skills of reading, writing, listening, and speaking, you will find that they will be better off as compared to if you have taught them 20 chapters in a rush and you have not given them chance to express or hone their skills, right? So therefore, content suffer should not be our first priority. We have to see whether we are catering to the skill development of the students or not. Okay. How to balance diverse learning needs of small children, whether they are small children or they are the older ones. You have to plan for diversity, and planning for diversity is largely differentiation, which I have taken in all the branches, right? So if you have more specific question to diversity, that this is the set of students, how do I plan my lesson, I will sit separately and I can be talking about it. Okay. So, all right. Now, these were the questions which are there. Suvarna has raised hand, and I would want, if you have questions related to this, first you address those questions, because our basics have to be very clear. In fact, we all have to be on the same page when we are talking about teaching and learning. So even if we take sessions after sessions, but we need to understand what is that which we are heading towards. The vision has to be the same, right? Yes, Suvarna.
Yes, good evening, ma'am. Actually, my question is that, suppose I have conducted one activity in a suppose section A, and it was very successful. Children enjoyed it a lot, and the same activity I conducted in a section B, and it was totally chaos, and students they have not responded at all.
Right.
So, so my question is that whether it is a failure of teacher or strategy should be different for that section.
All right, very good question, Suvarna. Very, very good. You have to this is a very genuine question, because this may happen. One section may just take up that activity and do it really well. The other section may not. It depends upon the constitution of your class as well, right? So in this case, if the moment you are unsuccessful in a particular activity, you have to now reflect. Okay, remember I taught you people two things. I taught you reflection in action, and I taught you reflection on action, right? Now what you are going to do, you are going to do reflection on action. So you will sit and see that what was the reason that this activity failed. Okay, so once you come to the root cause of that reason, you will be able to plan better for that section. Okay, so don't think that in one section this has gone really well, so in the other section also it will go well. But in the other section it can go well, depending upon you have understood your children really well. What is their requirement? Okay, what are the reasons that the activities are failing in that section? Okay, so you have to analyze that. Once you have analyzed it and you have come to a conclusion, you have to do a lot of experiments with that section. And after that, you will be able to kind of, come to a conclusion that, okay, I think in this section, I need to be doing in this manner because the children are struggling in this, because there could be various reasons, for an activity not working. So if you have a specific example, we can separately talk about it and we can discuss it. This may need a mentor discussion, right? So we can discuss about it, but that's a very good question. It's not a failure of a teacher, neither it's a failure of a strategy. Okay, it is just that you have to think and see what needs to be changed, right? That's
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Suvarna, for asking the question. Is there anybody who wants to ask the question before I proceed for the new strategies as such? No questions. All right. Okay, so I'll just proceed further. I'll just quickly go on and have a quick revision of what we studied earlier. We studied carousel brainstorming, wherein the children will be moving in groups. We studied about Tarsia. I think we've discussed enough about it. We studied about Tony Rand's 20 thinking keys. We just talked about 2 thinking keys. Then graffiti was another strategy that we studied. And chalk talk, silent chalk talk was another strategy, Freyr's model, right? So these were the strategies that we have studied so far, right? Another strategy which I'm going to be talking about is a concept sort. And there is a large possibility that some of you may be knowing this particular strategy, especially the teachers who have done CPD with me. They would know this strategy, but it's good for a revision. It's a very, very useful strategy. And again, this is a strategy which can be used across classes. You can use this for your kindergarten as well. You can use this for pre-primary students also. This is your concept sort. Okay. Now, what happens in this is that there are words, the vocabulary words that you are giving to the students, and you're asking them to sort it into various categories, right? I would want to see a video related to this. So, and this is for students of class 2. The teacher is doing it with the students of class 2. And there are 2 strategies. One is you can do it as an open sort. Another, you can do it as a closed sort. So I'll explain you what closed sort and open sort is. But before that, first have a look at this particular video. Okay. And I'll keep on pausing the video and telling you about something. So just wait and I'll present it further, the video. Are you able to hear the sound and see the video?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
ma'am. Great. Okay, thank you.
A concept sort is a vocabulary and comprehension strategy. It's a great way to familiarize students with new vocabulary.
And it's audible, but not visible.
Or extend their
It's not
understanding of
visible?
words.
Yes, it's audible.
Concept sort.
just a black slide.
Yeah, it's
Blank.
Oh,
not visible.
okay. Wait. Now is it visible?
Yes, yes, now it
Yes,
is.
ma'am.
Force words they already know, or extend their understanding
Now,
of words.
are you able to
Through a
see?
concept sort, teachers also
No, it's
No,
okay.
it was the same.
No, okay.
How much
Okay. Hold on.
students already know
There is a
about
problem then. I'll just directly play the video. Or maybe I just play it here itself.
Teachers also have an opportunity.
Now it's fine, ma'am.
How much students already know about a topic. Let's watch as Kathy Doyle uses a concept sort to introduce her second graders to vocabulary from the book The Seed is Sleeping.
And these are all words from one of these words were in that book. And I'm going to read them with you, okay? I like when you read with me. You ready? dash, roots, sunlight, soil, shell, parachute.
Select a variety of words that will challenge the students to think about how the words fit together.
All these words were in the book. I pulled them right out of the book and put them on this chart. Keith?
I'm just wondering, why is parachute in there? Why is leaf in there?
She's already like, wait a minute, what's parachute doing in a book about thieves? What's leaf doing in a book about thieves? Keith, I promise you, I took them straight from the book. I want to show you something.
Kathy is going to have the kids do what's called a closed sort, which means she's providing the category headings. But she could do an open sort and let the kids define the groupings instead.
This one says, what? Seas travel. Sea parts. Big seas. So if I put some of these words, these very same words, on a post-it, on a sticky note, I could move them around and decide where they go. So let me show you one. This word is dash. Where do I put dash? Ways seeds travel. Dash. Seeds dash. Maybe. Seed parts. Dash is not a seed part. There is no way I'm putting it there. Things seeds need. Seeds need dash. No. Maybe ways seeds travel. Haven't put that in there.
Kathy is modeling the strategy for the students before she sends them off to work on their own.
So here is one important point, that whenever you are introducing a new strategy, you should always model that strategy for them. Show them that how should they be going about and thinking. Now she has pulled out some words from a chapter, and then she is kind of familiarizing the students with these words, giving them the categories, because the teacher is providing the categories, so it is a closed sort. So students just have to put these words in different categories. And she is modeling it. Now let's see. How is she going to be facilitating the group work?
This includes showing them her decision-making process lead by thinking out loud.
Okay, now do you have an idea of what I'm doing? You will get a chance to do this as well. Everyone's going to work in small groups. You're all going to get a poster like this. But the important thing to remember is, please don't just do it quickly without having any conversation with your partner. You and your partners have to decide and be sure that you're putting these words in the right categories. Okay?
Kathy is sending the students to work in small groups, but concept sorts can also be used with individual students and in a whole class setting.
Ways seeds travel. Yeah, because tumbling they kind of roll down the hill. Yeah, seeds aren't kind of round. Like, yeah, roots. Seeds. Yeah. What about cling? I think cling is like clings to a tree like a butterfly. I think it's seed. No, because how can it cling? There's no such thing as a seed that's called a cling.
Let students work independently, but keep an eye on their progress and notice any sticking points. Sometimes a discussion may even need to expand to the whole class.
A whole group doesn't know what a word means. It might be time to open it up to the class to discuss this word. You want to present the word to your kids? And just ask for help. Does anybody know what this word means? Cling. It might mean like it grabs onto something. Okay, so to like this? Yeah, grab on. Okay, cling might mean grab on. Can you use it as an example? It's something that we can picture in our head. What's cling? Like a butterfly in a cocoon, it clings to a tree. Okay.
Ending with a whole class review is a great way to close out the strategy.
So I'm up here for a minute. We all had a chance to move these words around, to think about how these words fit together, to think about how some of these words don't fit together. And I want to ask you a couple of questions. Is there someone who can tell me why the word parachute ended up under this header, ways seeds travel? Why? Brian? Because people could travel with a parachute, so seeds might travel with a parachute. So you're thinking about what people do in parachutes. Think about these words. Things.
All right, so I'm coming back here. The idea is to just understand what this particular strategy is. I'll just share my presentation again. Okay. So here you saw in the video that teacher provided them some words and they were working in groups and they had to segregate it into different categories. Now here what you can also do is that you may not give them the categories and you can say that, okay, these are the words which are there. You try to put them into whatever category it falls, right? That is known as an open sort. Now open sort is a little higher order and closed sort is something which is slightly easy. So I think immediately your minds would have started running now that if I have to do differentiation, I can go ahead and give some groups. I can make ability groups and to the maybe the lower ability or the middle ability, I may provide them the if they ask, you know, if you say that you provide them the vocabulary words and you say that those who would want the categories from me, I'll provide you the categories. Those who would want to categorize it themselves, you can go ahead and do it. So give them a choice of doing it, whether they want to do an open sort or they want to do a closed sort, right? So you can do differentiation like this. And again, this is something which can be used in any of the subjects because you have lots of terms in any subject that you're using. Now, let's come on to the pre-primary. Okay, you are teaching them about, say, wild animals or domestic animals, or you're teaching them about sea transport, air transport, water transport. These are the things which you generally teach them, right? And you can always give them the pictures. And from the pictures, you can ask them to do it or put it into different categories. Provide them the sheet and let them put it over there after discussing it with the group, right? So this is a strategy which you can use from pre-primary, and you can always go into even higher standards accountancy में जब हम adjustments सिखाते हैं different subjects में बहुत सारी categories होती हैं जो हम use करते हैं. So you can always go ahead and use concept sort, an open sort or a closed sort with your students. Like an example is given here. It's parts of a tree, types of a tree, where trees grows, what trees need to grow. It could be you're teaching them forests. So आपका evergreen forest है, deciduous है, coniferous है, and you can give them words related to that and ask them to do the sorting, right? So again, concept sort is a very good strategy, which is a concept building strategy, which you can do. You can create a collaborative, differentiated strategy with the help of concept sort, right? I would like to know from you if you have any doubt related to this particular strategy. When you're using concept sort, what rules will you make to ensure smooth conduction of this activity? And my second question is, where can you use this activity? Can you use it as prior knowledge, concept building, assessment, metacognitive? Where will you use it? So anyone who can raise hand and tell me, think it out loud. What rules will you make? And this is how we practice. I'll help you out in making the rules. Anyone just attempt. Take the initiative, raise your hand and say, I'll make the rules for this strategy. Right. I'm sure there are a lot of you who can do it. You are far more capable. Anyone? It can be used with Lolly-Lotto. How? It's not a Lolly-Lotto activity. It's an activity. It's a group activity. Okay.
Ma'am, may I speak?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, the ones that you showed, you said that these are the words and the grid was there.
Yes.
And what I feel that it can be used to introduce a topic, and to keep the class in control, I can use the Lolly-Lotto sticks. And this can be, this is actually an inductive method of teaching where with the help of examples, I can reach the definition.
Right. Very good. I'm happy you are using the The terminology over there, the inductive and the deductive approach, and you're clear about it. Excellent, Shonali. But here, what I want to say, one more thing I will like to add here. One is that you can do it by, asking the children, each student that, okay, tell which category do we put there, and now next student, which category do we put, right? Here, what happens, it becomes teacher-led. More important is that you have to let the children sit and discuss. When the children are sitting and discussing it in the groups, it's a completely different dynamics. They will have their own challenges, right? So you have to first let them go ahead or do that particular thing on their own. So the ideal thing would be that you provide them a sheet or something. Okay, Deepak has raised hand. Deepak,
Actually, ma'am,
yeah.
Ma'am, good evening. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yeah.
Madam, earlier I have raised my hand to just know more about this. Actually, I have a question over here.
Right.
Suppose I'm teaching one chapter in class 7 standard, that is electricity, current and its effect.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And so many terms and top words I have given the student, in which a part of the conductor and insulator, in which category they will categorize. Suppose I'm facing problem, the words I have given them in open short and close short में, apart इस category में conductor and insulator के बाद वो और कहाँ इसे categorize कर सकते हैं?
So you are saying that from electricity and its effects, इस वाले
yeah.
chapter में जो आप उनकी कैटेगरी सिर्फ कंडक्टर और इंसुलेटर वाली ही होंगी, ये आप बोल रहे हो?
हाँ मैम, मैं पूछ रहा हूँ और कहाँ ये हो सकता है? इसको छोड़ के कंडक्टर इंसुलेटर में दिया, ओपन सर्किट बहुत लग रहा है. इसके बाद मुझे लग रहा है कि where they will just use this strategy, means where I will use this strategy and where they will categorize this.
So डिपेंड करता है. देखो, अगर आपको लगता है कि ये दिस कुड बी यूज्ड एज एन असेसमेंट स्ट्रेटजी, अभी जो आपने बोला उसमें आप असेसमेंट स्ट्रेटजी के जैसे कर सकते हो, wherein you have lots of words which are related to conductors and related to insulators, and you can ask them to put it into different categories. But
Yes.
that's very limited application of this. What you can do is पहले तो pull out करो ना, words pull out करो अपने chapter में से, right? So क्या क्या हो सकता है? Electricity से related, you have your amperes, आपके units भी तो हैं. There are
Yes.
you have units, you will have wire, you will have ammeter, you will have you are talking about potential difference and voltmeter, ये सारी चीजें होंगी, right?
जी,
जब आप
जी, जी.
इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की बात कर रहे हो तो, right?
जी.
रेजिस्टेंस होगी. सो पहले इन सारे वर्ड्स को पुल आउट करो और उसके बाद देखो and let them kind of put it, let them think about what could be the categories in which they are wanting to put it. Or otherwise, if you are wanting to put the category, तो आपको see you have to put a little mind to it slightly कि क्या क्या categories हम इसमें बना सकते हैं. So
Yes, ma'am.
ये एक thinking question है कि हम इसमें क्या क्या categories बना सकते हैं. So for that we need to sit down with the chapter, we need to see and what could be the examples. सुनंदा जी कुछ लिख रहे हैं इसके अंदर. But I think, see, your question is very pertinent, but this will require a little sitting down with the text and then deciding what could be the categories. है ना? So offhand थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होगा define करना, right?
Yeah.
But yes, if you want, you can use this particular strategy, right? Generally use करो उन सारी चीजों में जहाँ पे कि एक category के अंदर कई सारे terms आते हैं. Try to use it in those chapters. It's not necessary that you use it in all the chapters, right? जहाँ पे ज्यादा स्पेसिफिक हो, जहाँ पे बहुत सारे टर्म्स हो, आप उनको वहां पे इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. ठीक है?
Thank you.
All right. So when I'm talking about why am I emphasizing a lot upon the rules to be set for the strategy, because rules अगर नहीं set हैं तो हमारी strategy will fall flat और फिर हमें लगेगा ये सब बेकार है, इससे अच्छा हम पढ़ा लेते हैं, right? तो बेटर ये होगा कि आप पहले रूल सोचो. So if suppose I am a teacher and I have to do this, I would say, all right, I'm giving each group a sheet, and in this sheet there are some words which are written, right? You may know a lot about these words, you may not know a lot about these words. That's fine, that's okay. So even if you do not know, try to guess and try to put it. Okay, we will see whether it's right or wrong. Okay, and I can provide you categories if you want. If you do not want, you can use your own categories, and you have to put these words into some or the other category related to this particular chapter, right? Now, this can be done right in the introduction, just because you want to check their previous knowledge, or you can do it towards the end where you are doing the assessment. you can also do this as a concept building strategy. Okay, wherein you have taught them certain things, it's still remaining, some concepts are remaining, and you have given to them to build that particular concept. So you can use this strategy at any of these three places, right? And you can use this strategy itself to reflect, to make them reflect. आपकी जो मेटाकॉग्निशन वाली एक्टिविटी है वो इसी एक्टिविटी में से निकल के बाहर आ सकती है. How did you fare in this? What were your struggles? Right? What do you think you need to still work upon? Right? What is that thing which you would like to appreciate yourself for? So आपका जो मेटाकॉग्निटिव एक्टिविटी है वो आपके इसी कॉन्सेप्ट बिल्डिंग से निकल के आ सकती है, right? So that's how we have to design our lesson plan. So when you are talking about the rules में आप बोलोगे, so this is the sheet which I am providing to you, and you have to put it into different categories. Categories have to be no less than 3 and it has to be not more than 4. I am just putting it as the, वो आपके कुछ भी rules हो सकते हैं, right? While you are making it, see that it should be made in this way. The columns, it has to be divided like this. Show them the format in which they have to present, right? While you are discussing in the group, see that your noise level is not such that is disturbing another group. You're going to involve everybody in the discussion and not one person will dominate the group, right? The time for this particular activity is 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever you want to give, right? And if you need any kind of a help, the group leader will be raising the hand. So you divide your roles into group leader, the timekeeper, one who is going to be writing and one who is going to be moderating the discussion, right? So आप ऐसे करके आपने उनको चीजों को बताया, रूल्स बताए, और एक बार रूल बताने के बाद आप टाइम जब शुरू हो जाता है उसके बाद टीचर नहीं बोलेगा, okay? Then you have to see that the children are working. Then don't keep on telling your rules, okay? Don't keep on creating noise pollution inside the class. You have to go. अगर आपको कुछ बोलना भी है, अगर आपसे कुछ छूट गया है बोलने के लिए, तो आप ग्रुप्स के पास जाके बोलेंगे धीरे से. कोई एक ग्रुप ज्यादा आवाज कर रहा है अगर, तो आप उस ग्रुप के पास धीरे से जाके बोलेंगे या उनको एक कार्ड दिखा देंगे कि प्लीज कीप योर वॉल्यूम लो. एक पेपर पे लिख लीजिए प्लीज कीप योर वॉल्यूम लो और उस ग्रुप को बस जाके दिखाइए. तो आपको चिल्लाने की बिल्कुल जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी और बच्चे अपना काम करेंगे. सो जब आप ऐसे रूल्स सेट कर लेंगे क्लास के अंदर तो आपकी एक्टिविटी हमेशा ही बहुत अच्छे ढंग से प्रोसीड होगी. Right. Anyone who has any question related to concept sort or any other thing that I have discussed so far? Pooja. Yes, Pooja?
Yes. Good evening, ma'am. If I'm having 4 concepts that like, for example, types of plants is there.
Right.
So there are, I think, 30 words are there related to that topic. So
Right.
can I make 3 groups and 10 words I can give to them when I do the differentiation like this?
You can do that. So
Then
if you are creating ability groups, अगर ability groups बना रहे हो तो easy words दे दो आपके low ability वालों को, थोड़े difficult middle ability वालों को, उससे ज्यादा difficult high ability वालों को. Very good, Pooja. This is a
then
good
at the
example
end,
of differentiation.
then at the end we can discuss, all the 3 groups can discuss the words and different.
Yes, that can be.
Thank you, ma'am.
और जब आप डिस्कशन कर रहे हो तो सपोज एक ग्रुप जो 10 वर्ड्स कर रहा है और उसने जो अपने कैटेगराइजेशन किया है उसका वेरिफिकेशन आप नहीं बोलोगे कि हाँ ये सही है, दूसरों से लोगे कि क्या ये सही है, राइट? So that's how you should be doing. Always remember, as a teacher, you should be the last one to give the answer. You should have explored it from all your children, whether they know it or not. Okay, then you should be the one who should come up with the answer, right? All right, I'll quickly take up another one, and this is a very interesting one, and I think this one was shared by Aarti also. The details of this strategy are shared with Aarti as well. But I think a discussion on this will be better. This is a interdisciplinary activity and a very beautiful activity. And you can use it for any subject, right? How is it interdisciplinary? Because it is any subject plus English. Okay, so let's see how it is. You can also put any subject plus Hindi. कोई भी लैंग्वेज कर सकते हैं आप इसके अंदर इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी में. So here the word raft is basically an acronym. R is for the role of the writer. जो writer है उसका रोल क्या है, वो किस रोल में है, ठीक है? Then who is the audience? To whom is this person addressing? What is the format? Format is जो हम write कर रहे हैं, जो हम writing कर रहे हैं, उसका format क्या होना चाहिए? What is the topic? On what topic am I writing? And then अगर हम rafts की बात करते हैं तो S comes out as a strong verb. What should be the strong verb? Right? Now let's take an example. Example role है suppose teacher trainer का. I am a teacher trainer, right? So suppose I have to do this. So role is of a teacher trainer. Who's the audience? Audience are the teachers, right? Format क्या है? I have to do a persuasive speech, right? What is the topic? Significance of using teaching strategies in classroom. So that's the topic. And what's the strong verb? Strong verb is influence, right? So अब आप समझ रहे हो कि it's a suppose anyone, say Deepti is there. दीप्ति को बोला दीप्ति आप टीचर ट्रेनर हो, आपको एड्रेस करना है सारे टीचर्स को, and you have to give a persuasive speech. You have to influence the teachers on the topic of importance of using teaching strategies in the classroom. ठीक है? So अब दीप्ति क्या करेंगी? दीप्ति will start writing about what are the important things about teaching strategies, what is that which I should be highlighting, and she would write a persuasive speech, right? So ये एक example है. This is just one example of a raft, right? अब मैं आपको और examples देती हूँ, different subjects से examples देती हूँ, so that you will have an idea, right? This is another example. So here it is. Say for example, semicolon is speaking to middle school students, and the format is like that of a diary entry, and the topic is I wish you really understood where I belong. अब आप जानते हो कि बच्चे सेमीकोलन सही जगह नहीं लगाते हैं, हम भी नहीं लगाते हैं, बड़े भी नहीं लगाते हैं. So we really do not know where should we be putting the semicolon, right? So now it's like a diary entry, and in the diary entry, the semicolon is now writing to the middle school students that I just wish you knew where I belong. So जब आप वो वाली एक डायरी एंट्री लिख रहे हो तो आप ये भी तो लिखोगे ना कि हाँ वो मुझे कहाँ लगाना चाहिए, right? So basically you are testing the concept of the child, and there is the child who is practicing how to write a diary entry, right? And it's something which the students will find interesting to do. अब सबको एक जैसा राफ्ट देने की जरूरत नहीं है, सब लोग एक जैसा काम नहीं करेंगे, सबको अलग अलग फॉर्म में प्रेजेंट करने के लिए बोलिए, right? Now suppose I'm taking one example of science. It's like lungs. Lung is speaking to the owner, and the format of an owner's guide, okay? And the topic is to maximize the product life. So lung is talking to the owner, and in the form there's a manual that you are writing that how is it that you can maximize my life, lung life, right? So that's an example. Another example is a reporter. Audience is public. The format is an obituary, and the topic is Hitler is dead, right? So you're writing an obituary for Hitler is dead. That's for a topic like history. Fractions is talking to the whole numbers in the form of a petition that to be considered a part of the family, right? So it could be anything, and you can make it really interesting. I'm just going to share one more set of examples with you. Say for example, sun. Sun is talking to plants. Plant is the audience, and sun is talking to the plant. The format is invitation for a date. Topic is how I can help you, how can I be useful for you. And the strong verb in this example, there's a strong verb also, and that is enticing. So the sun will entice the plant to come for a date, because to tell about how is it that sun can be useful for plants, right? So obviously in this the child will write his or her knowledge of how sun is useful for plant, but the format changes and it becomes very interesting. So when the children are going to be presenting, so this kind of a thing you can do with your students as well, for your subject also, right? So अब आप सोच के देखो, I'm giving you 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, please think of one raft, okay? And everybody should think of a raft and create one. So I'll just tell you, individual activity है ये. Create a raft for any topic you teach and share it on the Jamboard. So I'll just create a Jamboard for you. And the success time is 5 minutes. I've written 5 minutes, but right now I'm giving you 3 minutes only. Success criteria is I have mentioned the topic and class for which I am creating rafts. That's important. I have mentioned clearly the role, audience, format, topic, and strong word, which is mentioned in each separate line. I have written my name and branch name at the bottom, and I have finished the task in 3 minutes. Okay. So I'll share the link of Jamboard with you. You can start working in your rough at the moment. Think of any topic, just create one raft. Okay, everybody. All right, what I'm going to do, because we are kind of overshooting with our time, and and this might require you a little time to think, and maybe this is a little less time that I'm giving you to think.
Ma'am, so I have made the table for this raft.
You have made it? Acha, for others to put it. What have you made? Would you like to share, Deepthi?
Ma'am, I have made on a paper.
On the paper, okay. So you can read it out. Okay,
Yes.
let's have. So that's very nice, Deepthi. Read it out.
Ma'am, in role, I have written about the mountain region. It's a topic from 6th standard, characteristic of organism and habitat.
Okay. So role is mountain.
Mountain region.
Mountain region. Okay, that's the role. Okay.
And audience, trees.
Audiences.
Trees.
Trees. Okay. All right.
And topic is information.
Topic is information about what?
About the trees which are present in the mountain regions.
Okay. Okay. And format?
Format is informative.
No. Informative what? Format is something कि वो letter के form में होगा, diary entry होगी, speech होगा, dialogue writing होगी.
Guide. Can we say guide?
Guide?
Yes.
Tourist guide kind of a thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Which
All
gives
right.
information.
Okay.
And strong verb is adaptation.
Strong verb is adaptation. Okay. All right. Okay. In a very less time, you have done a fairly good job, Deepthi. Very quickly, you thought about it. Yes.
Can I also present, ma'am? I have also written on paper. I was ready with.
Yeah, please, Rita, go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. So the role is integers.
Right.
And the audience is the natural numbers. The format is of application, and the topic is to be considered as natural number. And the strong verb is over here is plead.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. That's nice. Very good. Okay. One more has come. Role is that of a tree. Audience is human. Format is poster with slogan. Okay. And topic is how we can help each other to survive. All right. Great. All right. Very good. So yes, so you can just go ahead, whatever topic you are giving, if you give to your students variety of different formats, and especially check it out with your English or Hindi teacher कि उन्होंने कौन-कौन से formats already समझा चुके हैं बच्चों को. So try to use those formats. Then it will become a proper interdisciplinary activity. Okay. All right. So what I'm now not going to do is to tell you about other activities, other strategies. There are more strategies, and I'll come back to you with the strategies. और strategies तो बहुत हो सकती हैं. I'll share the links also with you. The thing is that you have to work towards it, right? What I'm also now going to do is to share with you the link of the reflection sheet. Okay, so just fill this reflection sheet. This is again going to take 5 minutes of yours, but do fill it very quickly and fill it now. Don't keep it for later, right? So I'll just share the link with you. Okay, one more. Social science role is TV. Okay. Audience, consumer, format, commercial ads. Topic is entrepreneurship. Okay. All right. Great. Very nice. And what could be the strong verb if you can think about it? Somebody's raising hand.
Ma'am, can I speak?
Yes, please. Yes.
Ma'am, it can be consumerism or entrepreneurship development.
Right. Yes. Yes. Good, good. Very good. Very good. Pooja Singh. Pooja has raised hand. Sunanda and one more person. Okay, Pooja, you go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
I have taken the writer will be the seed.
Okay.
The R will be the seed. He will be asking the students
Hmm.
in the form of a drawing whether
Mhm.
how you will help me to grow into a plant.
With the help of a plant
Drawing.
seed is talking to the plant
Students.
students.
Yes. How you will help me to grow into a plant.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that word will be essential things that is required to make a seed grow.
Okay. And the format you're saying is in the form of a drawing.
Drawing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Fine. Sunanda. Sunanda ji,
Ma'am,
you can speak.
I've done this on slides 10, ma'am. I tried, I think.
There are 20 slides here.
I did it on 10th one.
Okay. I'll have to, go out from here and then just a second. And there was one more person raising hand. I don't know. Acha, there are, I don't know how so many pages have opened. Okay, here this one is, topic is plural, role of the writer, plural. Audience is singular, format is conversation, topic is rules to convert singular to plural. Okay, all right, great. That's nice. Let me move to 10. This is, I am a type of a plant with soft green stem. Would you like me to tell about more? That's a format in the form of a rap. Okay. And audience is grade 6 students. Role is that of a herb. And topic is character sketch. And I am a plant with soft green. Would you like me to tell about me more? Okay. All right. Great. 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 Lovely. And I'll go through all the others who are, yeah. Very nice. Shehnaz ma'am, आपने हाथ उठाया है. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. My role is Hitler, audience is Jews, and format is speech, and noun is mobilization.
Okay. Noun नहीं, topic.
I mean to say, sorry, strong verb.
Okay. A strong verb is mobilization. Yes, mobilizing. All right, great, lovely. So you've already started creating such lovely rafts. Okay, so I'll end this. I've already shared the link of this reflection sheet with you. So please fill this and do put your questions and queries there. From there, I get to know what are your challenges or where are you struggling. Okay, so isko zarur daliyega. And thank you so much. I would like to end this because I don't want to take extra time of yours. You will have your own commitments, right? So thank you, everyone. Where is Ashwini? I think Ashwini has to take over. If Ashwini is there.
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
Yeah, Ashwini.
Thank you so much, teachers, for joining in today. And thank you so
Patanji is
much,
also
Rupam
there.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Rupamdi. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Tarun is also a part of this. Tarun.
yeah, even he has joined.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just attended. It was wonderful. Nice to know all this.
Thank you, Tarun. It's lovely to hear this from you. In fact, I would like to thank. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much for joining in.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm leaving the call now. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.